All right, so recently I had to make a thumbnail for one of my videos, and the process of making it took me down a very unique kind of path that I would like to show you a little bit today, if you don't mind. So the video was about me deciding to put my pictures on Pinterest as opposed to Instagram. So there was this whole thing about switching from Instagram to Pinterest and some of the things for Pinterest. So as I built this entire video up, I decided that I kind of had an idea of what I wanted for the picture for the thumbnail. So basically I was going to start with this photo here. And in this photo, I was basically looking, me holding the camera towards the other camera. So basically taking a picture of the cameras. And I wanted it to be off to one side, but I wanted it to show my right arm in front. So I took that photo and threw it into Nano Banana and gave it a prompt to turn my entire body with the camera to the left, showing my right arm. But I knew what I was going to do with that photo. So it generated a picture. This picture of me facing to the right. So all I did for the photo that I wanted to do is I flipped it to the left. So yes, it looks like I'm holding a left-handed camera with my left arm up there, but actually it's just my right hand doing, that's the whole picture's flipped. And then I decided to do a few other little things on it with words and different things like that. And I threw it up on something that I started using recently called vidIQ. And vidIQ basically is a way to help you get better at YouTube. It rates your titles and descriptions and thumbnails, and you want to get the numbers as high as you can. Like I'd like to try to keep my stuff in the 90s, close to the 90s. And it helps you kind of put your stuff there, and it will rate it so if it's not right, you can change it. So this took me on this whole long thing of all of this. So first, like I said, I started with the photo, and then I had Nano Banana recreate it, and I flipped it, threw it back into Canva. So now we're back in Canva, and I'm putting all these different things on there, and I'm trying them and putting them up on vidIQ, and my numbers still aren't very high. And I tried this several times with several different thumbnails, and I couldn't quite get what I wanted to get there. It just didn't get me the numbers high enough. So I went back into vidIQ, and I took one of the thumbnails that I had and put it in their generator, and it does... you get points you use per month, and I used some of the points to regenerate a thumbnail, and it generated this thumbnail. And that thumbnail, it was okay. It wasn't quite what I wanted, but I wanted to be able to move some stuff around. So I took that thumbnail that vidIQ created, and I put it back in Canva where I was making the originals. And Canva has this little feature in it called magic layers. It's a new thing where anything in there will be split into movable layers. And that's what I did. When I had it in there, I put it in through the magic layers, and I was able to move everything all around to where I wanted. I was able to move me to the right, but it was all the stuff that vidIQ created. And I moved the stuff around and then added a little title to the top. And that took me to the thumbnail that I currently have on the video, and it scored me in the 80s, which I wanted in the 90s, but it scored me in the 80s. But it's a whole process sometimes when you're doing these thumbnails where it's more than just making a thumbnail or more than just having vidIQ or something like that make a thumbnail for you, that I encourage this on my channels, that I want you to look at the tools you have and think of all of them. Think about the result you want to have and use any tool you have to get you to that result. And that's kind of what I did with this, is that I used all the different tools I have, the Nano Banana, the vidIQ, the Canva, all of these things, and I will continue to use them. So that brings us all the way back to the current thumbnail that I have, and it is scoring me on vidIQ an 89, which is not bad. I wanted it in the 90s, but it scored an 89. And here's the funny thing, that a lot of people, when they do their thumbnails for YouTube, they just put a thumbnail up and leave it. I will change a thumbnail about every 3 or 4 days if I'm not getting the kind of views that I want, because a thumbnail is probably one of the biggest things you could do. Currently, the title for that video has a 92 and an 89 thumbnail and a 100 on the description, so I will probably change the thumbnail again. So by the time you watch this video, there's a very good chance that that thumbnail will be changed again. And again, that's the process that I want to encourage you, is it's not just one thing, one step. Think about all the tools you have and think about how you can use them to make exactly what you want. And if the 89 isn't enough, you can keep working at it. And that's the process of what I want to teach a lot with this channel, is that I want to encourage creators and creatives to problem solve with all the tools they have and think about using the tools they have in ways that they didn't think before. Like I said, with the beginning, I started out with a photograph of me facing forward, and I wanted me facing the side. So instead of refilming it, all I did was threw it into Nano Banana and turn me. And that's pretty much all there is to making a thumbnail. Now, I know it's all there is to making a thumbnail is a far cry from all there is to making a thumbnail, but that's the process I go through, and I will talk about that more in the future. If you have questions about how I make these or other questions about the programs that I use, 100% do not be afraid to ask the questions. I will answer them. And for today, I hope this helped encourage you, at least get you down the road to try out some new things with the stuff you already have instead of buying a new program or, paying on a new program or something like that. Try with the stuff you have and see if it gets you the results you want. So until next time, take care and God bless. This video is sponsored by immj. For all my print-on-demand creations like t-shirts, mugs, posters, original photos, my book, The Creative Virus, or what gear I use, visit the shops on immj.com or my Amazon, eBay, or Etsy stores.